man who does them has to live by them. Listen to verse 13. This is the doozy. Christ redeemed us from the curse of the law by becoming a curse for us, because it is written, curses everybody that's hung on a tree. Now, to you and I in 2013, this doesn't mean a whole lot to us, because we really don't understand what does the curse of the law mean. What does it mean to be redeemed from the curse? But let's all get on the same page with this thought in Atlanta, Georgia, Douglasville in 2012, and try to make something written 2,000 years ago make a little more sense for us today. This is basically what is being said. There is nothing religious you can do to earn the righteousness of God. And when you try to earn it any other way than the way He described it to be earned and brought it to be given to you, then you're under a curse. And this is what it said. Everybody in the room today is cursed. Everybody. And so there had to be a remedy, because humans were all under a curse. It says, cursed is everyone who does not do everything that God commanded us to do. Now here's the problem with that. As religious as you are on your best day in your best Sunday duds, how many of you in the room have blown it at least once? All right, most of you. The rest are lying. You've blown it at least once in your history of humanity. That means if you blow it one time, you're altogether 100% guilty. So the way God views this thing, if you break one, just one, not 10, not 100, if you're guilty of breaking one commandment, you're guilty of the whole thing, and you're 100% guilty, and when you're guilty, you're cursed. So it's not about, ooh, there's a lot of bad things that should be cursed, and then there's a lot of other things God overlooks. God overlooks none of them. The most simplistic disobedience, He judges just as much as the most travesty of disobedience. God looks at all of them as disobedience. And He said, this side is cursed, this side is cursed, because you're cursed when you're up under the law. In other words, the law came, and the law plans itself out like this in three ways. Number one, the law that is the 10 Commandments. It shows us the righteousness of God. It shows us that we cannot. It demanded you and I be righteous. It demanded that we obey. In the Old Testament, God demanded that you obey, and if you don't obey and you don't pony up to His demands, all kind of tragic things would happen to you. We're going to read that in a minute. He demanded you to obey. And we all know as humans, there's no way we can pony up and do 100% of the time 100% of the things that God demands out of us. And then there was not only the righteous law of God, which showed everybody in the room we're sinners and can't do it. We're all wicked. We are all evil. Then there are the laws of God that comes to teach us how to relate to each other. And then the law of God that comes to teach us how to relate to Him. So there's the law that tells me how to relate to Him. I have to come, and this is the book of Leviticus, I have to bring sacrifices, I have to bring pigeons, I have to bring animals, I have to kill the animal, I have to come a certain way at a certain time for certain sins. That's the law of God. So when you read the Old Testament and you read about all of these animals that had to be brought, and if you had a skin disease, or if you had this wrong with you or that wrong with you, there were prescribed ways that God would let you come to Him. And if you came the wrong way, you died. If you came the wrong way, you were killed. If you came the wrong way, sickness and disease would break out on you. That pretty much is the Old Testament summed up. It is God showing you and I that it is impossible as a human to do what He requires. And He calls it something like this: you're under a curse. It's so detrimental that the only word that can define it for us without Him and outside of Him, you're cursed. It's just not going to go well for you. You disobeyed me, there's a curse on all humanity now. You know, we often say, well, how could God send good people to hell? Listen, grab this real quick. According to what we read in Scripture, nobody's good. Nobody is good. Well, he was a good man. Nobody is good. That's Romans. No, not one person in the room outside of the blood sacrifice of Jesus Christ is a good person. We're all born in sin. That hurts. I mean, because we would say today we know some good people, we know some bad people. But that's the way humans judge it. Oh, they're really bad, lock them up and ship them off. They're kind of decent. Those people are, they're just evil. And this person's kind of good. I don't know why a good person would die. But when you step back and look at humanity from God's perspective, all of you are guilty. All of you are cursed. All of you are evil. All of you are bent to your own way. See, there's something in humanity that says we deserved it. You didn't deserve a thing. That's the beauty of the death of Jesus. You didn't deserve a thing. And yet He dies for you anyway.